All right, guys, so we are back, and I want to talk a little bit about Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis, I can't front, guys. He is one of my favorite fighters. I love to watch Tank Davis in action in the ring. He's must-see TV. You have to admit, when you go to a Tank fight, you're expecting a knockout, most of the time. And here's the thing. I have been criticizing Tank lately. Some of you guys know that who watch the channel. I criticized him about the Devin Haney stuff, the back and forth stuff with Devin Haney, the Conor Ben stuff. It just seemed like his energy was off to me. And the thing about me is that even though I admire a fighter, guys like Tank, guys like Canelo Alvarez who have this great God-given talent, and now they're in these high positions. Some people see Tank as the face of boxing. Some people see Canelo Alvarez as the face of boxing. I think as fans, we should always hold these guys to a higher standard than we hold other guys, the peers around them, that aren't in those positions. We should expect more out of them. We should expect them to face the best competition. When you're a champion, you shouldn't get the easy street, the easy route. Being a champion is something that should be revered, but something that's hard to obtain and hard to maintain. So that's why I criticize Tank. That's why I criticize Canelo Alvarez, because I think these guys, they're the best, and they should be proving that time and time again. If you want to stay in that position, you should have to prove that time and time again. So that's why I do that, even with, some of the guys that I actually like. Now, you guys see that picture there in that thumbnail, Gervonta Tank Davis, and I can't front. That is the best shape that I have ever seen Gervonta Tank Davis in. He is ripped to the bone. I think it's 2 months out now. I think the fight's scheduled for June 22nd in Houston, and I just might go to that fight. I haven't been to a fight in a while. I think the last fight was with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. That was the last fight I went to. But he's in phenomenal shape, looking like Kangaroo Jack in that picture, guys. He looks Jack, and it tells me two things. The first thing it tells me is that he is locked in. He is 100% focused on his craft, focused on his training, focused on his nutrition. Now, we know in the past that Tank Davis had some problems making weight. This tells me here that there is no problem anymore. He is matured, and he is focused on handling his business. And I can admire that coming from Tank. He's had his trials and tribulations, but he seems like he learns, from the mistakes that he makes. And that's a part of, growing as a person. So props out to Tank for that. Number two, it tells me that he's not, let me repeat that, he's not taking Frank the Ghost Martin lightly. And I think he shouldn't, because a guy like Frank the Ghost Martin, who is a mover, who has great footwork, who has an educated jab, who's very fast and has respectable power. Tank hasn't really been in the ring with guys of that caliber that much. I think Mario Barrios is probably the closest to a Frank the Ghost Martin that he's been in the ring with. He fights a lot of guys that are flat-footed, that'll stand there and, not very educated boxers, I would say. He hasn't been in the ring with those type of guys. And Frank the Ghost Martin, he's well equipped for a guy like Tank Davis. And I think Tank Davis knows this, and that's why he is so focused on this fight. I think he'll win the fight, because I think Tank is a hell of a boxer. I don't think we give him enough credit for his boxing IQ, because we're so enamored with his knockout capability. But I think, he understands what Frank brings to the table. He's coming in lean and light, and he wants to be light on his feet. And I think, it's going to be, I think he's going to test Tank. I will say that. I think he's going to test Tank, but this is what Tank needs. And this is what I like. This is what I talk about. Holding yourself to a higher standard and taking on, the best competition. I would say Frank is the best competition, but, he is a pretty decent competition in my opinion, especially when a guy like Tank hasn't been in the ring for some time. It'll be, a year since he's been in the ring when this fight takes place. If it takes place on June 22nd, it'll be over a year. So the ring rust may be a factor. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm excited. I'm excited for Tank. I'm excited for Frank. I think this is a good fight, and I can't wait for it. And like I said, I probably will check it out. I'll probably go to Houston and check that fight out. But anyway, you guys let me know what you feel about that picture there of Tank. I heard some people saying that, you know, he looks sick, he looked too thin. I just don't see that. I just see a guy who's lean and has lean muscle on him, a guy that's locked in to his nutrition and is training and focused on, you know, the task at hand. But anyway, you guys let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.